Hey everybody, we are jumping right into the middle of this exercise in using the pen tool. A couple of shapes that you can see here are already done on my drawing layer. These two shapes over here have already been traced out with the pen tool. We're just trying to save a little bit of time in this video, keep it a little bit shorter. So we're going to look at one more shape down here in the lower left next, where we're tracing our template, and things should be a little bit easier. So again, we want to start out over here with our pen tool, right? Third down from the top. If we're looking kind of a default menu over here, we've got selection tool, direct selection tool, and then the pen. Maybe kind of in like a hierarchy over there of what gets used most. This pen tool is a pretty important tool, although the curvature tool that we looked at last time has definitely taken a big part of the load that it used to be the pen tool was used for exclusively. So we're going to look at this bat first, and then when we're done, move over to the car. So we've got our fill turned off, no fill. We've got a black stroke of 1 point so that we can see what we're doing here. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit with Control plus, use our space bar to line things up the way we want, and select our tool and get started. I'm going to start from a corner here. Sometimes that makes things easier with the pen tool than starting off needing to drag out part of curve. Right? So like we could start here in the middle, dragging out a curve, click and drag if we're about to start to want to make a curve happen. But it's hard to know when you're getting started on any new shape how much of a handlebar you're going to need to drag out to get your curve the way you want it. So sometimes it's just a little bit nicer to be able to start from a corner anchor. And then I've done this a couple of times, and I'm thinking that probably a couple of anchors along the way here is going to help us get this curve a little smoother. And then we're clicking once for a point. We're clicking and dragging out for this curve. We're going to notice some spots where it doesn't follow perfectly. Like the curvature tool, we're going to come back and clean things up when we're done. As much as we can, we want to kind of just keep on going through this shape, doing our best to make it match, and then we'll direct selection tool from there. So we're going to click here for a corner, drag out our curve, click for a corner, drag out the curve, and we're going to continue on in that pattern. It can be confusing at first, trying to figure out, because like if we drag the wrong ways and things kind of look like they're going all over the place. So it's important to remember whatever direction you're trying to move with your line, that's the direction you always want to drag towards. So down here and then drag in the direction that we're going to go next. Dragging out, corner, and then try to put a couple on in this spot over here also. Something kind of like that up here. And now when we're finishing off this shape, we have something to base our curve off of a little bit and tie it back up there at the end. All right, so we've got just a little bit of cleanup to do on this. We could stop now, but there are some ways that, yeah, this is really obviously not quite meeting our expectations. So we're going to go to our white arrow, direct selection, or we can hit the A command, hit V for the selection tool, A for direct selection. We're just going to kind of go around and clean this up just a little bit. So just pull these anchors towards the middle of the line. This time, maybe grab this handlebar down here, pull that out, smooth that arc a little bit. In here, we might just need to tilt things a little. Pull that one out just a little bit. It's first kind of coming through, pulling some handlebars out a little bit farther, pushing some back in a little bit. Maybe last one right here. And there we go. Oh, found one more I want to do. Looking good, right? So, yeah, that one actually, there's a lot of changes in it, but it's pretty straightforward. So let's move over here and look at some other options that we have that are going to help us kind of in the long run. This car, even just the outline, is a lot more complicated shape for us to draw with any kind of tool, curvature tool or pen tool, compared to most of the rest of the ones that we see here. So we're going to come back to the pen tool, start at a corner again, right? So right here at a sharp corner. We know we want some straight here. And then we know we want curves, so maybe we try to balance it out there, and things look pretty good on that one. So I might think, all right, I got the hang of things, and I'm trying to get that one, but I want to come up here and go into a straight line there. But you can kind of see, maybe I'll click off here a little bit, and let's zoom in here even a little bit more. Right, that this is not really looking how I want in here. These kind of hard breaks where we go from the curving part of the line, and that curve got really pretty messy in general. And we still have this kind of hard turn here at the end. So that's really hard to avoid if you're trying to just drop one curve with just the right handlebars in the middle of this arc. And where is the middle of that arc, and where does it actually start to turn? All of those are pretty difficult things to see. Even down here where it looked good at first, there's kind of some funny bumping going on in that. So we're going to go ahead and Control Z a little bit. We're going to get all the way back down here to this spot. Let's see, maybe let's go back. Let's just go all the way back to the beginning here. Okay, so we're going to start over from the beginning. We're going to come up here, and this is saying it wants to just make some kind of hard corner right there. And it's hard to judge from over here how to bend it just right down into there. So instead, what we can do is hover over this blue anchor point and click again and drag. I don't know if you noticed, and we'll point it out next time, that I got a little bit of a change to my cursor there. It has kind of a pointer arrow instead of the normal pen tool shape. And I'm just dragging one like half handlebar straight up out of this line. And that way, when I start having a curve come out, you can see that it wants to pull up along this line, and that's what's going to make it so that my arc, especially right here at the bottom, just really smoothly comes out of that straight line. And then over here, I can click and pull from the other side to really just make that curve go pretty much exactly where I want it to go between those 2 points. The problem is now I was wanting to stop having curve right there and start making this a hard edge. So again, I can come back right here and click that, and it sends that half of the handlebar away. So I still got this one that was making my curve go where I wanted to, but now I'm back to doing a straight line. And again, I want to start curving here. So I'm going to click and drag out from there so that I can start following along that path. I'm going to go up to where I think the curve ends up here, kind of pull out to match up, then come back because I want to come straight out of that one, come over here, click again, pull out, start curving down, and we need to slide over a little bit to finish this off. Right, so there's my curve. When we're pulling out these handlebars, it's really helpful. We're not just looking at where the old line is going, the blue line through the curve we're trying to make, but we're also trying to get this new handlebar to kind of point us directly into the straight line that we're trying to make. So then when we come back here, this is pointing us straight into the spot right here. Right, I'm going to click there, then click and drag. And click, drag. Back for a straight line. Right here, we want to change direction. And we know about circle shapes like these holes for the tire that they take points on the top and both sides and the bottom to make the curves work. So we'll plan on that same kind of thing. One right in the middle of the top that we use, and then one more down here to finish off this side, and then a straight down, and then click there to get rid of that handlebar, straight over, and we're going to do the same thing again. We're just about done. So right there, click again, pull straight up, over to the top, out, down, click back again to switch to a hard corner, and close off our shape. So yeah, that'll be probably the trickiest part for us, getting things figured out on this car and those transitions back and forth between hard corners, straight lines, and curved lines. We've got the windows too, but they only have one curve in them, so they should go a little bit faster. If you've already gotten the outside of the car figured out, then the windows are going to be no problem for you. All right. Again, when you're done with this, just like in the curvature tool assignment, I'm going to want you to come through and color your shapes. Easy way to do that we've looked at before. I'm just going to select these over here. Leave the car until after the windows are finished. And we can go to our shape builder tool and color in some shapes. Pick any colors you want. You can go find a color theme if you feel like it. Let's see. Let's do this up. Not really very exciting colors for us in the. I do like purple though. There. So that'll do the trick. Oh, but also um, with them just selected with the selection tool, switching back to V, we want to make it so none of them have a stroke either. Stroke is just, yeah, typically not quite what we want. Oh, and now we see like some ugly edges around here. That just is a reminder that before you go ahead and post anything, make sure you go back to your layers and make that template invisible. Right? We just got our nice, clean edged pen tool drawn vector shapes. All right, good luck with that, and looking forward to see what you can make.